But my beats, they are hard.
All right, hello, good evening. Welcome to another live episode of the BCSN SportsWrap, the longest running HBCU sports talk show on these interwebs, in these streets, on these podcasts and video streets. I'm Bryan Fulford. That's A.D. Drew. Good to be with you on another Sunday night as we are now in officially game week mode, Drew. Less than 7 days before the debut and the opening of the 2025 football season. How are you feeling? Are you ready?
Bryan, I can't wait for about midnight on Saturday to get here. Considering the extra
that's a different countdown clock than I was expecting.
Yeah, it's a different countdown. I'm waiting on the game to be over.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, Bryan. Yes, and you know why? And then nothing bad, but it's a lot when you're on the inside.
Yes, indeed.
It's a different mindset.
Different mindset, indeed.
And different things that you have to factor as you make decisions.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure it's a lot of stuff going on. Well, as our friends and the folks, the regulars who find our show on a Sunday, as you guys start to tune in, we say hello to everybody watching us on our YouTube channels, whether it be the Jericho Broadcast Network's Black College Sports Network YouTube page, that's at MyJBN Online, or the BCSN SportsWrap YouTube page. You could be watching us on Facebook via the Black College Sports Network or the BCSN SportsWrap. Hello to everybody on Twitter and on Instagram live. What does EA says? Everybody's doing a show. Well, hey, that's great. That's great. Everybody's doing a show these days, EA. But never forget who's been here the longest.
Who started this stuff.
And who and we still keep trying to pump out, quality content that keeps the people talking. That's the thing.
And go watch their show. If they want to compete with us on time slots, let them compete with us. And I'm confident that you'll be back. You'll watch one of us live. You'll watch one of us tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, look, as
I
long as you watch
us tomorrow right now. But
as long as you watch, whether you watch later on YouTube, watch later on Facebook, heck, I'd even prefer it if you watch later on the BCSN Pod Zone. Hello to those of you watching on the Pod Zone. So,
yeah, I don't
just
care.
Watch. And when you watch, hit the thumbs up and the like button. Subscribe, download. That's the stuff that matters. That's the stuff that really matters. So
I don't watch everybody's show live. I mean, I've got a life, believe it or not, outside of HBCU Sports.
What? You got a life? What?
Most of us do. And unless we are at that level of entrepreneurship or investments, most of us have somebody who we have obligations to in order to pay our bills. So if your show comes on during that time, you're going to be on the rewind channel, as I call it. You may be on in the car while I'm driving to work, while I'm driving from work. Heck, in Atlanta, you know what's good thing about being in Atlanta now, Brian? Atlanta traffic allows you to catch up on a lot of podcasts.
Oh, the traffic. I couldn't sit in the traffic for too long.
Yeah, but when you listen to different podcasts, it's not as bad as because you get tired of hearing the same songs.
Yeah. I don't, G Boom says he wishes the Pod Zone was live for me to listen in this car. I don't know how we would do that, G Boom. Actually, we are in the process of getting our JBN app up and working again. So I guess that would create an opportunity where our show would actually stream via the app. But isn't that kind of like YouTube? I mean, I don't encourage, condone, or endorse anybody watching YouTube while you're driving, but I'm not going to say it doesn't happen.
Bro, I have YouTube on all the time in my vehicle. Now, that don't mean my attention is focused on the screen on my phone, but it's on. I mean, people do it for music. I do it for pods.
Okay. Yeah, well, there you go. It would be nice though. Maybe one day G Boom will actually be able to stream live on Spotify. But does Spotify do anything live? I don't think Spotify does anything live. No. All right, that's a great dilemma you've thrown out to me, G Boom. So we'll have to figure that out. But hit the thumbs up and the like button, however and wherever you're watching and subscribing to the show. As I mentioned in the preview, or maybe you saw the title tonight, this has become a tradition like none other in HBCU sports media. And I feel like I can say this with all clarity and honesty. Now, Drew, we've turned over a lot of stuff this year. I mean, from list to rankings to the conversation about Blue Bloods, but nobody that I have come across is doing predictive win totals, over and unders. Now,
wait till tomorrow, Brian.
What's that?
Wait till tomorrow.
Well,
because somebody will see this tonight.
I hope so.
I hope so.
We're first out in the marketplace, so and I've always
just like we were first out with the top 25 of the 20.
Look, this is not going to be a show where we pat ourselves on the back. We are what we are.
I ain't got no problem doing that.
I know you don't. I wish, being someone who pays attention to the type of markets where predictive win totals is something that you can find entertainment measuring. Those of you who like to sprinkle a little bit of coin on things like that. I think what this total does, this is the equivalent of, if you were, those of you who live in states where you can go to FanDuel and DraftKings and Bet Rivers, Bet MGM, all of the proprietary gambling books, sports wagering.
Did you say predatory?
No, I did not say predatory. I did not say predatory. Although I will say, gambling is legal in I think over 20 some odd, over 30 some odd states, right? And in many of these states, you can, because this is the preseason, you can wager on how many wins you think a team in a particular conference, right, will get. And mostly it's FBS. But I maintain, Drew, that this is the market's not understanding FCS. This is not even a market understanding our culture. If there was a book that would open up lines for the HBCU market, and just in general, we're getting close to a period of time, Drew, where I feel like FCS football deserves a little more respect. it's time for the betting markets across the country to stop waiting until Friday to release lines for FCS games, or worse yet, Sunday morning or Saturday morning. You know, those lines should be available Monday, Tuesday, early part of the week, right? But anyway, so this show is an homage to the season win totals that you would get at any other place, right? So we take, for the third year in a row, we're going to break down all 21 teams, and we're going to set a line, a number. And your job, our job, is to predict how many wins over or under that school, that team, will win this year. And we'll show you some data over the last couple of years, teams that have fared well above the predicted number, below the predicted number. One of us has been pretty good at predicting that over the last year. See, you didn't have to do that. I just said, you could just you're so you right now. You could just let the tease happen. I know you want to poke your chest. One of us has fared pretty well, only because he had a good 2024. We both pretty much had a similar record in 2023. One of us went left, and one of us went right last year off a cliff, literally.
Bryan, what was the theme last week?
I don't know. What was the theme last year?
We were focusing on facts. I make my decisions with my heart, not my head. I mean, my head, not my heart.
I don't know if I did that too. I have to go back and look and see the teams who I picked, or really how many games I was really off last year. So yeah. Let's see what EA said. The longest running is okay. That's a good point. You know what we do, EA, though? We do put the episode 903. Episode 9.03 means we're in season number 9. So,
and they can't put that banner in the right-hand corner that we can also.
No, they can't. They cannot. The BCSN Pod Zone rated as the best HBCU sports podcast by Million Podcasts. Thank you to them. But we'll have to do that, EA. Whatever works. As you can see, I'm dealing with I don't know what this is, some first week back at school, Drew, and I swear I've already caught something.
And you act like you are surprised?
Yeah, because it's been that long. It's already time for me to go get a shot from the doctor, because I'm like, man, look.
Bro, get your flu shot. Go ahead.
I do every year.
Get change. You got to start taking the airborne and all the other things, the extra vitamin C.
I bought some gummies. I bought some goalie gummies the other day. Not that they're endorsing me, but I just want to try it out. I bought some gummies to see if the gummies work. Not CBD gummies, but the.
I was gonna say what kind of.
No, not CBD gummies. Although I've been curious about trying them. I don't know. But the goalie gummies to see
Bryan,
if they really work.
Back in Tallahassee with some of them gummies.
Huh?
You think you back in Tallahassee with some of those gummies?
Man, look, stop it. I'm just trying to get my health right, because boy, teaching 8th graders is Jesus. It's tiresome already. I'll have to it's the don't get me started. It's I'll tell you after the break. I'll bring, no slide. Not those gummies. No, not those gummies. These are the kind that you can buy off of Amazon. Although, who knows? I don't know if you can buy. I don't know if you can buy those gummies off of Amazon either. So, to be honest, it seems like you can buy a lot of things off of Amazon. So, Lennon Blow, I see you're a little late to the announcement. We dropped that announcement. The announcement, Lennon, that you are speaking of, that was dropped on the Carlos Brown show about 2 weeks ago. 2 to 3 weeks ago. And then it was dropped again when we had John Grant on the show last week. So thanks for listening, Lennon. But what he's referring to is the 2028 MEAC SWAC kickoff challenge game between Jackson State and Norfolk State. I know he's excited about that. So there. But yeah, but it's game week. Southern University, North Carolina Central, Saturday, 7:30 on ESPN in Atlanta, Georgia, Center Park Stadium. The hype is real, and we are excited as the kickoff week 0. Are we moving to a point, Drew, where we're ready to get rid of calling it week 0, or how long is that going to last?
Not quite yet, man.
All right.
Not quite yet, and everything with this HBCU week 0 and FCS week 1, and I mean, it's going to be fun.
Man, look, Kenneth Johnson, you don't even know, man. You don't even know. There is. I tried to get out, but they pulled me back in. What's that famous line? I tried to get out, but they pulled me back in. And look, thought I was ready. I wasn't. First week, boy. And, there's nothing worse when you're. So I feel like this is one of the things, Drew. I'm gonna have a story every week. I'm just one story, right? I had a kid. Now you give out the syllabus at the beginning of the year, right? And I read almost everything in the syllabus to the kids. Make sure they read it, hear it all. Send it home. Ask them to sign it. Have their parents sign it. Now, in the syllabus, you tell the kids what they're supposed to come to class with, right? Notebook. This should be standard in every class. Notebook, something to write on, something to write with, and some paper, right? Highlighters, yeah, okay. But nothing outside of the norm for my class. So here I am. We're in the class discussion yesterday, and I'm looking towards the back of the room, and there's a kid who's just sitting there at the desk. He's just sitting there. Book's not open. He's just sitting there. And so I'm gonna just call him Johnny. I'm like, Johnny, you're not taking any notes. Where's your notebook? He just looks at me. I don't have a notebook. I said, why not? I didn't know I needed one. And I'm like, what? I'm like, excuse me? You didn't know you needed one. And so then I go instant mode. Did you get a syllabus? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did you read it?
Right. Did you read it? Yes, sir. I said, did you sign it? He said, yes, sir. I said, well, no. Actually, I asked him, did he read it? He said, no. And then I said, well, did you sign it? He said, yes. I said, well, son, first off, never sign anything that you didn't read. First off, there's rule number 1. There's the first problem, right? So they got that lesson. Pro tip right there. Never sign anything that you don't read. And so then I had to stop the class, open up the syllabus, and go to the section of required materials for the class. And I said, so see, Johnny, going forward, don't come to my class without A, B, and C. Okay? He was like, okay, I'm sorry, sir. Yes, sir. I said, okay. Then I said, well, can anybody loan him a piece of paper since Johnny doesn't have any paper to write notes on in class today? Right? And I'm just like, man, you got to be kidding me. Between that and the kids who come in, and then the other one, last one, I swear this last one. And then you tell kids, don't ask me, do I need my book and notebook for class? Because what do you think the answer is going to be? Yes. And so don't put Mr. Fulford in a bad mood by asking me, because all Mr. Fulford is going to do is going to look at you. When you ask me, because I tell my kids no question is dumb, but that doesn't mean I have to answer your question. I don't have to answer your question because there's no dumb question, but that doesn't mean I have to answer your question. So I'm just going to look at you. You are nice. Do I need my book? Do I need my notebook? I'm just going to look at you. What do you think?
You were nicer than me as a middle school teacher, Brian.
First week, Drew. It's first week.
Brian, I would tell that young man, I would set that young man, if this is in Mr. Drew's class, this is how it happened. that young man would have gone to the corner. I'd be like, I need you to read this thing, and then when you find the answers, come back with your answer and an apology.
That's okay. That's hardcore, Mr. Drew. Hardcore.
Life lessons, Coach. But that Coach Drew coming out at me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoon feed you. Y'all think y'all grown and y'all gonna show me that y'all want to be grown later on. I'm gonna put you in some adult situations. Go do some research.
Here's part of why I was in that mode, because it was my second to last class of the day.
So you were tired.
And my fourth middle school class of the day. So he already caught me at a point where I'm tired in the day, already worn out by middle school. And so I wasn't in that was about as much correcting as I was going to do, So yeah, but I bet you he comes to class with his.
You got all weekend to go get all your supplies.
Oh, exactly. You got all weekend. Speaking of going back to school, Drew, we were talking about homecomings last week, right?
Yeah.
We put up the cool graphic there of the homecoming schedule, that graphic courtesy of HBCU End Zone, right? But one of the things that I'm noticing, and I don't know if you folks out there are paying attention to this as well, but a strong trend is occurring among HBCU, and I guess I have to say amongst university athletic departments, communities,
university,
in general. Universities in period, right? And it has to do with policy changes regarding everything from starting times of homecoming games to some of the policies regarding parking, visitors, things of that nature. And it really is a shift. And as I started thinking about it, Drew, it's probably a really good shift. Or maybe is it just a reactionary shift to other incidences that we have seen occurring, not just amongst homecoming HBCU events, but just large events where stuff has popped off?
Yeah. Well, Bryan, I'll tell you what. Let's get into the what and the why, because we are pushing it up against our first break. And then we can come back and get into the deep thought on that.
Okay. So are you hinting at it's time to take a break? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, good.
That was supposed to be the tease. You were supposed to pick up on that. We've been doing this longer than anybody else. You should have picked up on that vibe.
Well, you know what throws me off? I have two different counters that I watch. I have the actual real-time counter, which says we're at the bottom of the hour. But then I have our show counter, which says we're not even fully 30 minutes into the show. So that's what threw me off a little bit. So completely my fault. But this is on the heels of an article that Stephen Gaither wrote, HBCU Game Day, regarding policy changes at Winston-Salem State. Some things that I noticed in Georgia, at Albany State, and then some stuff happened in Alabama. Yes, exactly. See, all right, that's funny. That's a good one. Okay, let's take a break and come back and talk on the other side. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
There's a shot.
Shot that might be.
It could be. Right field. Grand slam. What a shot. That's how you get hot, young fella.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do, and all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
This is Brian Fulford. A.D. Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN SportsWrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN SportsWrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Football fans, HBCU football is back in the ATL with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff. Representing the MEAC, North Carolina Central, and representing the SWAC, Southern, Eagles, Jaguars, the Marching Sound Machine, the Human Jukebox. The kickoff trophy is up for grabs, and bragging rights are on the line. The rivalry is real. Bring the family and join us pre-game for the fun-filled Coca-Cola fan experience, including band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
Welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap. Bryan and Drew here on another Sunday night. We are days away, less than 7 days away from the Cricket Wireless MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff. Did I get all that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I got it all right. Okay. Get that out of there. Stop it. You're killing me. Tomorrow, what time? Tomorrow is the coaches press conference. What time is that happening, Drew?
That's a virtual press conference that will occur at 11 a.m. And members of the media will have their session with the coaches prior to them coming to Atlanta. For both programs, this will serve as their official press conference for the week. So, and that will actually be live streamed at BCSWACChallenge.com on the YouTube page. And I will put the link to that YouTube page in the chat in just a moment. So, yeah.
And it'll also appear right here on the Black College Sports Network as well.
Right. I believe we're going to simulcast that also on the Black College Sports Network.
Right. Looking forward to it. Do you watch the Big Three?
When nothing else is on, and I decided to watch regular TV instead of YouTube or something like that.
I'm curious, just random thought here, as I got a little quad box going on. On a day like today, as we get as one of our last few Sundays without football, where do you rank your watching, like in terms of what you watch? Do you golf, Big Three, WNBA, or baseball? Like among those four, what order are you ranking your watching? Because you had a BMW. It's a playoff golf, so you had Scotty Scheffler doing his thing, right? You had plenty of baseball games. You got a full slate of WNBA games. Big Three, Final Four. What are you watching?
Can I go for none of the above?
No. You could surely read a book, but or watch a movie. But I'm just saying, if those were the only 4 channels or the 4 options that you had in your life at that moment.
Depends on who's playing baseball. It's got to be a team
of baseball games.
It depends. It has to be a team that I follow. It just can't be a random team. I was gonna say WNBA 9 times out of 10 on that list, except if it's a baseball team that I follow.
I watched a 21-point comeback today by my Indiana Fever without 2-3 starters.
Wow.
Another player got hurt today. But
Right.
somehow they overcame a 21-point deficit. I grabbed it plus 420 when it was live. I almost grabbed it when it was plus 720, Drew. But something was like, nah. And then I came back later when it got down to about 10. I said, oh no, they're gonna win this. I said, let me grab it. And it was like 420 at that point. I was mad I didn't grab it when it was 720.
Right.
Woo, could be eating real good this week.
Yeah.
But that's
off the subject for a second. I did put the link to the press conference for tomorrow for those who want to tune in live.
Right.
It is in the chat.
All right. The Chicago Triplets versus the Miami 305 in the Big Three championship game. That's going to actually be right here in Orlando, Drew. If I get back into Orlando in time, depending upon when I leave Atlanta on Sunday, I might be able to head over to the championship game.
You're gonna have to leave mighty early to get there.
Yeah, that's asking a lot. That means I have to get a plane. Right now, I don't know if I'm doing the plane thing.
Well, if you'd have got your plane ticket about 3-4 weeks ago, you probably could have flew cheaper than you could have driven.
I don't know. That's not entirely true, but
No,
about the same cost. Honestly, yeah. I looked into it. It's almost about the same cost, but it is what it is. What time is what? G Boom says. What time is it again? I don't know. What did you refer?
It's game time. I don't know.
I almost said the same thing. What time is it? I almost
game
said
time.
I almost said the same thing. The MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff Classic is 7:30.
I think he's talking about the next week with the
press conference
championship game. No, the press conference is at 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central.
Eastern, yeah.
So
Monday,
tomorrow. If you're talking about the Big Three, what time is that game, Brian? 3 o'clock Eastern.
I don't know. Sunday, maybe 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay. The coach's press conference, G Boo. Thank you. So that's
11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central tomorrow.
Right.
And the link is in the chat.
Yeah, MEACSWACChallenge.com, Black College Sports Network, where you can pick it up. Trey Oliver's, North Carolina Central, Terrence Graves, Southern. We'll see whether either coach talks about whether there'll be a starter, who QB1 will be.
Man, I just need something besides coach talk, coach speak.
No, come on.
I need some clickbait.
No, these two are. Trey Oliver might give you something that you can chew on, but I don't think Terrence Graves is going to give you anything to chew on. Now, Trey Oliver might. He's been known to speak his mind, which you got to love. I think it's refreshing when you get press conferences with coaches who aren't afraid to speak their mind. Trey Oliver is one of those guys. So let's get back to what we were teasing before we came into the break, and that was homecoming. Some of the changes happening around homecoming. And this is really sort of a follow-up, kind of had me thinking this mode because I was saying, what can we talk about in the first hour before we get into the win totals in the second hour? And it goes back to the article that I saw from Stephen Gaither, HBCUGameDay.com, regarding HBCU homecoming safety concern bring changes at Winston-Salem State University. the article kind of underscores a lot of changes happening in the North Carolina HBCU diaspora, right? But then you shared with me this listing of incidents that have occurred on HBCU campuses just over the last
2 years.
2 years.
8 institutions.
And many of them have occurred during the homecoming season. And who was it? I saw an interesting post here by SJG. And this is interesting that the incoming class of freshmen were in kindergarten during the Sandy Hook shooting. And they started high school virtually in many cases. And I was like, wow, that is amazing that, first off, that the Sandy Hook thing was what, 12, 13 years ago.
That will put them in kindergarten.
Yeah. And we're living in this new world now where we've seen. I was just telling my sister the other day that I do have a pause when I think about going to like big outdoor festivals and events. Maybe it's because of my age, but also because every now and then you see a story about just some random shooting act of violence that has broke off. And it's just like, man, what is going on with us today?
Bryan, you remember when the most violence that we used to see was when you played Mortal Kombat on your screen?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that was violent. But, you know, I think about it, you know, if we think all the way back to Columbine in the late 90s, just as you and I were coming out of school in college. And one of the things, and I'll be frank, when I was in education, especially elementary, middle school, high school, that always crossed my mind is that what if, Bryan, this generation has grown up with, we grew up, our parents grew up with the nuclear fallout drills, you know, to get up under your desk and everything else. You know, for us, we didn't necessarily go through that. You know, we had your typical fire drills and maybe a tornado drill.
Tornado drill in the Midwest, right? We had tornado drills in the Midwest, yes.
Right. So those were our 2 drills that you did once a month or once a quarter or whatever you had to do. And then this generation has grown up with the new set of drills, the active shooter drill.
Yep. We have a whole thing that we have to go through at our school with, you know, just having kids prepared.
Yeah. You know, I have I've got a CDL, Bryan, and when I was in the school system, I used to drive school buses, not only for my, you know, obviously to drive my teams back and forth to competition, but I also drove a regular route. And if you remember, in the late 2000s, 2017, 2015, the incident in Daleville, Alabama, where the person got on the bus and took the bus driver and the student hostage and ultimately killed one of them. Mm-hmm. And the changes that occurred in Alabama, where I was living at that time, due to bus policies, you know, mm-hmm. At that point in time, if any parent or any person were to get on the bus unauthorized, as a driver, I had the right to do whatever I needed to do to defend those students.
Right.
And I hate to say this, you look around your driver's seat and you think, if I have to grab something quick, what can I grab
What am I grabbing?
Yeah, I mean, you have to think about that. How close is the fire extinguisher? How close is this? How close is that? You actually have to think about these things. I'm pretty sure, Brian, that one of the things that they made that you had to do, especially if you change classrooms, is what is my escape route? Do the windows open in this classroom? Not all classroom windows open. What windows open? Where is your safety corner? I'm not gonna get into the minutia about that, but anybody in education know exactly what I'm talking about when I say, where is your safety corner? True story, Brian. I was teaching elementary, and before we get into the topic, and we had a child who had an incident, and I don't know if you guys have the safety badges where you press it so many times and it alerts either the school nurse or the school safety, depending on the number of times that you push it.
No, but it sounds like something we should get.
It's called a Centrex card. Every faculty member has a Centrex card for emergency purposes in that school district. And you pressed it 3 times for, like, say, a medical emergency. The kid then passed out, or that's what it was supposed to be. Every now and then, when you would have a fight that got out of control and you needed backup from other people, you would press that 3 times or something like that. But I remember it was 8 times was the active shooter notifications.
8 times?
Yeah, I mean, it's fast, but it's like that because for you to press it that many times, they need to make sure of what the incident is.
I mean, what if I press it 7, or what if I go 9? I mean, hell, I'm just like, you just gonna press.
You just keep pressing it, and after the 8th time, it will go off. You're supposed to press it until you feel it vibrate.
Okay, thank you. That makes sense. Okay, gotcha.
It vibrates, but it was 8 presses for it to vibrate.
Okay,
and there was actually a medical emergency with one of our students, and the teacher panicked and kept pressing it. And till she felt it, which was not how many times you're supposed to press it. Because if you press it 3 times and stop, it's about a 2-3 second pause, and then it'll vibrate. And she didn't wait for that pause. She just kept pressing it till you got to the rapid pause, is what it was called. And the whole school, because she pressed it so many times, went on lockdown.
Yeah. And
I'm not in my classroom. I'm sitting in somebody else's classroom during that time.
Yeah.
And there were teachers outside who had kids outside on recess.
Yeah.
And once again, talking about, you could drill this stuff all you want to until you get into that situation. And that teacher made a major faux pas. Her thing was, get inside to get to my safe corner. You already outside. Why are you trying to get back inside? So I mean, it made us as a school have to go through it, because you drill it. The drills come in the second Tuesday of the month, Brian. That's what I'm saying. It's one thing to drill it, and and you prepare for it. But when them live, for like pardon the expression, when those live bullets start flying in that incident, sometimes you find out who panicked and who didn't panic. Not all of us got a passing grade that day when we thought we were under a real active situation.
Look,
and the school was shut down for an hour while police and campus safety and fire came in and cleared the halls.
Hey, better safe than sorry. But I will say that's why they've changed that code, and they've because of incidents like that, they probably found a much simpler method to tell people that, hey, if something is really happening, But that's interesting.
We even had you do not even listen to the intercom.
Yeah, no, you don't have time for all that.
No. If they tell you it's all clear over the intercom, you do not come out.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, because they have to manually clear you, because it could be somebody holding a gun to somebody's head saying, tell everybody to come out.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
So You know, there are policies. But my point is, these kids have grown up with this type of stuff, man. This stuff is, I hate to say it's sad. And now we are seeing our HBCUs, among other schools, drastically change their policies. How many of our campuses used to be open, Brian?
Yeah. I mean,
if you even had a flash of ID.
I mean, look, we've heard, look, we grew up in eras when, you know, you would know that the community from South Florida and Jacksonville and all other cities around Florida were coming to Tallahassee for homecoming, right?
And we had a good old time.
It had a great time. You know, I mean, it just was what it was. But now, because of these incidences, you know, many of which you pointed out here, but a lot of campus, I'm gonna kind of hit a couple of the bullet points, and I'm gonna encourage you guys, if you haven't, and again, maybe you are aware of it, maybe you weren't. This is a great article here by SJG here.
Wait, hold up. Can I throw one thing, Brian?
Sure.
It's not just Texas. A lot of state legislatures, if not local,
we ban cell phones and smartwatches. That means
yes.
That's not going to keep you safe.
No.
Look, to me, look, we're not going to get into. I applaud our school for banning cell phones and smartwatches because they are a big time distraction. So I'm sorry, I can't agree with anybody who says that is a problem, because that's not the problem. That's not the problem.
It may not be the solution, but it's not the problem.
Ain't the problem. Right, it ain't the problem. I agree with you there. So reading from the article a little bit, Winston-Salem State making sweeping changes to its upcoming homecoming, citing safety concerns and logistic challenges facing the HBCU and its campus community. In an alumni town hall, Chancellor Bonita Brown made it clear that the changes are not about scaling back tradition, but protecting it. The chancellor told alumni that Winston-Salem State is, quote, literally navigating two separate spaces when it comes to homecoming, safety and budget. Her first priority, she stressed, is preventing incidents that could bring even more drastic restrictions from higher governing bodies. That sounds like some, from the government, city, county, state, right?
Yes.
So Brown emphasized that Winston-Salem State is not navigating this in isolation. She said safety has been a focal point in recent conversations among leaders of other public HBCUs in the state of North Carolina: Elizabeth City State, Fayetteville State, North Carolina A&T, and North Carolina Central. And Drew, on that list, aren't some of those HBCUs, some of those schools that where incidents have occurred over the past couple of years?
Yes.
So the announcement that Winston-Salem State is closing campus at 8 p.m. daily kind of follows in line with what North Carolina Central is doing, or they plan to shut down its campus early on Friday and Saturday of homecoming, moving the football game to a noon or 1 o'clock kickoff, so that by the time it ends, you're talking ends at maybe 4, gives people usually an hour to 2 hours to get off campus.
At that point in time, when it usually gets dark, 6:30-ish.
I was going to say, so essentially the idea is by sundown, by the time it hits nightfall, people are off campus. Now, people are going to do what they're going to do off campus, but that's more so under the purview of what? The city. And the city, I would imagine, Drew, the city has better measures in place and better opportunity to police and control traffic and things of that nature, traffic and people, better than your campus. You know, with probably dealing with limited numbers of law enforcement personnel, safety officers. Yes, thank you. Right?
Yeah.
I read something in here that this is another thing, and this is one thing I found interesting. Because of things that they are doing and changing ticket pricing and parking, they are making it less attractive for you to drive on campus. For example, according to the article here, general tailgating at the football game is limited to the what is the east lot with a $150 fee per space and a minimum purchase of 2 spaces. RVs required 4. The lot opens at 5 a.m., closed at 9 p.m. for tailgating. There are other lots in which there's essentially, to sum it up, no free parking on campus. And they're encouraging people to access rideshare zones, right? If you want to come on campus, you need to get transportation to and from, because parking's going to cost you. So I see you starting a lot of the comments here. What other points and nuggets do you want to add on the topic, Drew? Because I know we talked about other schools. I know I mentioned I first saw this via Albany State, their website. They talk about a game time change where their homecoming game on October 18th has been moved up to 1 o'clock. They have, you can purchase full campus access for a certain fee. You can, almost like you cannot get on campus without paying, which I've heard people say many times, like, hey, you should have been doing that a long time ago, right?
Yeah. Well, obviously, Brian, if we talk about incidents, we have to talk about the tragic incident that happened at Tuskegee last year with a student getting killed on campus and 16 getting injured on campus. And the thing is, well, I said a student, no, a person got killed because this incident did not involve Tuskegee students, one on one side or the other. This involved people from not even the Tuskegee community, but from other communities. And I said it then, I say it now. Most of the people who live in and around our HBCUs, Brian, understand the special place that those HBCUs have in that community. Yes. They know that respected HBCU is sacred ground. There are certain things that you do not do on that campus.
Yeah. It's
usually from people outside of that community that come in and cause all the crap on our campuses. And it says Tuskegee, probably at Winston-Salem. We had, 2 years ago, where Bowie State's homecoming was canceled. And yes. I can't remember which one happened first. They invited those students to come to Morgan State, and then there was an incident in Morgan State in 23, a week later.
Yeah, vice versa.
Almost vice versa.
The Morgan State incident happened
first,
and then a week later, an incident happened at Bowie State.
Okay, I had it backwards. Yeah, but I remember those two. And then, of course, the first thing everybody thought, like, these two incidents were related.
Related, of course.
Two separate isolated incidents just happened because those two schools decided to partner together, that they were linked together. We've had incidents at Clark Atlanta. We've had incidents at Tennessee State, Virginia State, Central, PV. Over the last 2 years, 8 different institutions. And see, Brian, here's the thing. You have to homecoming as an administrator. You have to service two different people. You have to service your students who are currently there, paying their tuition to attend that school. You have to give them a homecoming experience. Then you have your alumni who has put their blood, sweat, and tears into that institution. And
the real purpose for homecoming for alumni, but anyway,
is homecoming for them. But you want to give them a premium experience so that they will give you a premium check in return. But you have two different groups here. So you have your internal customers, and then you have your immediate external customers, being your alumni. And then you have those secondary, I call them secondary customers. Those are the fans. Those are the naysayers, the other people, the other team. You know, you have to service them also. The thing is, those do not necessarily mesh easily together, Brian. When planning these things out, we're planning these logistics. I have been in logistic talks when it comes to the safety talks. And a lot of the things that you are seeing that these schools doing that, for lack of a better words, are pissing you off as an alum, they're not done without thought. They're done for your safety and for mine.
Well, it's funny you say that. Are they really upsetting you? I'm curious, you guys in the chat. I've always been able to, Brian, I've always been able to drive on campus. Now I can't drive on campus. I got to park a country mile away. Somebody gonna be pissed off. Well, okay, but I mean, reality here.
I give $100,000 to this school, and y'all gonna make me park and walk a country mile. That's gonna be somebody's mind thought, even though they only gave $500.
Okay. So you can't please everybody. So first off, but so on a percentage scale, if I were to put a poll up to say, would you be upset with your university having more restrictive access on homecoming? Would you be upset? I'm curious. I may put that up in the next break. I mean, because I would hope that understanding where we are today, right, that we understand why this is occurring. I don't have to like it. I don't have to like it now, but I understand.
Also, Brian, I want you to think about this. A lot of our campuses, especially where a lot of our stadiums are located at on our campuses, a lot of these are one way in and one way out, Brian.
They're what now?
One way in, one way out of a lot of our stadiums on our campuses.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a logistic. That's a traffic flow.
But that's a flow, because think about it: one way in, one way out. Should there be an incident in and around that stadium, how do people safely navigate and I'm able to move and able to get out of there safely? You have to think about these exit strategies. And a lot of people don't. They just want to come, party, and have fun, which they have a right to. I'm not poo-pooing that. But when you're on the operations side, there is so much more that goes into it to ensure your safety. And let me tell you a secret. There are a lot of people who you don't see at a lot of these games who play a big part in keeping you safe.
Yeah.
And I'm just not talking about the head of police at your institution or other things like that. There are a lot of people dressed like Bryan and myself who deal with safety stuff.
You're probably more familiar. Obviously, there's a great thought that I have. Obviously, with Tuskegee having their first home night game coming up, it'll be interesting to see what Chip 4029 says here. How's Tuskegee going to handle their first night game and a first-time event? You know, it's hard to say what's a bigger event, this first night game or homecoming.
Well, I could say this. You know, obviously, I'm in some alumni chapter groups for Tuskegee. They haven't thrown me out despite the fact that I work for Morehouse now. But I do know that they've restricted access to campus. If anybody is familiar with Tuskegee, first of all, Tuskegee's access to Tuskegee campus itself is limited. There's only a couple ways you can get on that campus. And then when you're talking about the side of campus where the stadium is at, I mean, it's a 2-lane road. So that's it to get to that stadium. There is no back entrance to that stadium. Well, there is, but most people don't know it. You know, if you live there a local, you know how to come through the back gate.
If everybody is on the right page, they're going to funnel traffic in and out with barricades, and they're gonna block off those little known, you know, the local access roads that you're familiar with. They're gonna block those off, or those should be blocked off. So that way traffic can flow.
I'm not 100% sure they're going to block those off. See, number one, you can't block off Old Montgomery Road because that is a major thoroughfare in Tuskegee. You know, it's the road that, for those who've been on campus road, it's the road that actually splits the campus. Where Lionel Richie's.
That should be the road in and out of campus, should it not?
I mean, for most people, like I say, there is another entrance to the stadium area. But
I mean, you got to send people in and out a certain way.
If you're tailgating, the tailgaters actually use that second entrance. So, but they're not allowing people to tailgate overnight. You can only tailgate if you have season tickets. So they're changing some of the stuff. Now, you brought up that night game. I know that was one of the concerns because I'm still friends with some people who on the city council at Tuskegee about them giving a permit for them to work at night. To play that night game, because they had to go through the logistics of, especially coming off of the homecoming incident, to make sure that they could get people in and out appropriately.
Right.
That's one reason, although the lights were ready last year, they did not entertain playing a night game last year.
Okay.
And this was before the incident at homecoming.
Good to know. Right.
So post homecoming, you know, things have changed. I am interested to see how they are going to handle that from a logistics and safety point. One of the things that was concerning, they had the lights at the stadium, but they had to go back and light up the walkway to the stadium.
Yeah. Might want to do that.
You know, things like that. You know, they had to light up other areas around the stadium for a night game, and they had to go back. So they've gone back and supposedly they've addressed those issues. So, but that was a really good question.
Also, I kind of want to we'll kind of close up this topic with what my thought had to do with I lost my thought. I had it as it related to communicating to your stakeholders early and often. Like you said something to me which I thought was interesting. And when you come on an HBCU campus, there should be a certain respect that you have for the history of the land that you're on, right? So the fact that someone is bringing guns into this sacred hollow ground bothers me. It shows a lack of respect for the area that you're in. That's just me. But
right.
I think that is messaging that could be done in a creative way via social media by all of our schools to kind of say, hey, when you come to homecoming, be safe, have fun, but leave the foolishness at home. You know, something about respect our buildings, respect our property, respect our people, respect this community because of the great people, men and women who have come from this. I don't know, some sort of creative. I would love to see every university that's having a homecoming in October or November send out some good messaging to their constituents and just those who might be taggers on who want to come be a part of the homecoming festivities to just respect where you're coming. And then also let people know what the security, the flow and the traffic is. Let them know a good 2 to 3 weeks in advance. Don't come up on Monday of homecoming week talking about this is how everyone has to flow in and out of campus. That's too late. We need to know that 2 to 3 weeks beforehand.
Bryan, you asking, let me back up. You said the word respect. For our generation, we have that. Maybe if you're 35, 40 and over, you grew up with that. The younger generation, their level of respect is not the same as our level of respect. Their level of respect is you do for me what I say, when I say, and how I say.
I don't know.
We deal with it. We're having to have conversations with these kids, and that we're educating, and them not understanding what they did wrong, how they did it wrong, and everything else, and not taking ownership and accountability. We came up in a generation where you had no choice but to take that ownership and accountability for your actions.
I think this generation, respect is love. Respect is love. We have to instill a sense of love.
When I tell you no, you can't go into this area. Now I'm disrespecting you. I don't love you. Now I want to come back and shoot you.
I think we. I don't. Well, I that's why I was saying we have to be willing to explain. Do you have to explain a little more to this generation than you had to explain to us? Yes. Okay. Because somebody told us what to do and we didn't question it. We just said, okay.
Yes, sir.
This generation, they want to know why, and you just got to tell them why.
No. I mean,
it's not that hard.
Tell you why you wrong in your decision.
Huh?
They just Google something and show you why you wrong in your decision because somebody else could do it.
Well, look, you may feel that way, and when you become the chancellor or the head of police security, you can change the policy to match your desires. But right now, this is why we're doing it, for this purpose. And it doesn't have to be confrontational. It just is what it is. You know, I don't want to look, there's two things I'm not going to, I cringe at saying that today's young people don't have the same level of respect, love, admiration that we had.
Level. I'm not saying it's better, it's not worse, but it is different.
It's different. And also, I've seen a couple people post that because our HBCUs in certain neighborhoods, that makes it more or less safe. Our HBCUs
have been in those same neighborhoods for 100 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, here's the one for you, Bryan. Can you name me an HBCU that's not in the hood? Right by the railroad tracks, near the graveyard, where the swamp used to be, or all the way up a hill.
Yeah, and we got to stop. And somehow, some way,
that is not an excuse.
Yeah, we've allowed outside people to define that as, worst of the worst, right? It's like, no, I mean, education still happens. Learning still happens,
Alcorn in the country. Yeah. Well, but those same HBCUs that you're talking about in those hoods are those same HBCUs that gave us stuff like the civil rights movement and everything else, because they were in those impoverished sections.
What happened is, here's what I think happened. At some point, because people moved into those communities to go to school, they lost their connectivity with that community. It's like, oh, I'm just here for these 4 years, and then I'm going to leave this area and go on to do great, bigger, and better things in bigger houses and bigger jobs. You all who are here in these homes near my campus, you're going to be here after I'm gone. Like we've I don't know, endorsed, encouraged, allowed some students to make the community feel less than, or the people in the community feel less than, when they're not less than. You know, you're here for a purpose, to get education and to go on and make changes, whether it be in your own community back where you came from,
or
right? Another. That's really where we've gone left, I think. You know, and so I don't know. More opportunities for more campus, whether it be team. And this is what I love to see. When I see teams that are a part of the community, that going out and doing community service projects at elementaries around campus, you know, it's great. You know, yes, I understand that, you know, that there were some rough decades due to that era, EA. So, but anyway, all right. So yeah, I'm gonna put that up there in the chats. I'm curious to see, are you? What did I say? The question was going to be regarding that. I say, are you
in favor of more restrictions? Or
are you in favor of more or less restrictions on your HBCU campus during homecoming? Yes or no? Yeah, that's the question. Yeah, exactly, Mike. We ended up there, and they're where we are, and the crazy thing is, we've built beautiful campuses in the space that they gave us.
They gave us the leftovers, the scraps, the stuff nobody wanted.
Yeah. Now the question is,
or we had to go so far out of town that they wouldn't come out there and lynch us.
How many campuses make a point to invest in the community around them in some kind of way? You know, building projects, not building projects, but I mean like home refurbishment projects, landscaping. I've driven through. It's crazy. Call me crazy here, but over the last 2 years, when I've driven through Tallahassee and some of the surrounding neighborhood, there used to be a time when I was in college that I really didn't drive through those neighborhoods. But as I'm older and a little wiser, and just looking at the area, I'm looking at it from a different perspective. I don't drive through those areas with fear or nervousness anymore, like I may have when I was younger and didn't know nothing. So, I don't know. Maybe it's an age thing. All right. Question for the chat is coming. Coming up on the other side, AD and I are going to break down the season win totals for the upcoming 2025 football season. All 21 Division I programs, the FCS teams. We're going to let you know what teams have performed above and below expectation. And then we set the lines for the upcoming year. And we're going to let you tell us, as we try to predict, what teams are going to go above and below the expected number of wins and losses for the upcoming season. I'm excited about this. I'm excited. I gotta get back this year. Got to get back on the right side. Got to get back in the green, baby. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
I'm returning to Clinton Paris, and Tampa's my community. I grew up here, went to school here, and my wife and I make our home here. What makes Tampa special are its people. So when I represent someone injured in my community, It's personal. Call my office and speak to a real lawyer and not some referral service. I will fight the insurance companies to get the settlement that you deserve. At the law office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being heard.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Sugar Chateau Desserts is a specialty bakery located in the Charlotte, North Carolina metro area. We will create delicious and one-of-a-kind treats for any occasion. Sugar Chateau is currently shipping cakes in a jar, offering a variety of different flavors in a single-serve container that can help you celebrate in accordance with social distancing. Place your orders today by calling 803-526-7895 or visiting sugarchateaudesserts.com.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Attention football fans. The Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff is back in Atlanta on August 23rd. Representing the MEAC, North Carolina Central, and representing the SWAC Southern. Join us at Center Park Stadium for a full day of tailgating, football, and band. For more information and tickets, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
History? Yeah, we built that. Pride? We fuel that. And on August 30th, we run that. Two powerhouse HBCUs, Howard Bison, FAMU Rattlers, one legendary showdown under the Miami lights at Hard Rock Stadium. The energy, unmatched. The culture, undeniable. The vibes, straight HBCU. 2025 Invesco QQQ Orange Blossom Classic. Get your tickets and book your hotel now at orangeblossomclassic.com. Saturday, August 30th at 4 p.m. in Miami Gardens.
Welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap. Bryan and A.D. here. Ready to go through season win totals for the 2025 HBCU football season in the Division I levels, the MEAC, SWAC East, SWAC West, and our independent schools. All right, let's see. Make sure we got all the extra little data stuff pulled up. And we can get ready to go down this list. All right. Missed the cough button there. All right. So as I said, Drew and I, this is something that if there was a real live market in a marketplace somewhere, whether it be on this shore or offshore, hint, hint, I would love to be able to, have some sort of stake in this, right? To be able to put these out and for somebody to have an opportunity because, some years are good years, some years are bad. Now, we first started this with our good friend Jamie Walker, J-Dub. He was with us in our first year when we did this in 2023. Drew correctly predicted the overs on 16 of the 21 schools. Let me rephrase. In his predictions over under, Drew went 16-5 in year one. I went 15-6. Jamie went 15-6. Okay. Now, last year was a little bit different for both of us. Not quite as well either way. Nobody did that well, but Drew did dramatically better than me last year. And we did a post-season recap of all this. Drew last year was 12-9 in his predictions. So he would have made a profit, if this were, if somebody gave us $100 for every team, Drew would have made a profit, right? Me, on the other hand, I was 7-14. I'd have lost my tail. Whatever money I would have won in 2023, I gave it all back the next year.
Let's go ahead and get that third ring, man.
Yeah. Jamie, last year, Jamie was only with us for the MEAC segment when we did this last year. I don't know why we didn't do the whole thing last year. We must have did it in two different shows. But he went 4-2 in his MEAC predictions last year. So we're going to break this down by conference. So let's start with the MEAC, the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. And just to kind of give some perspective, right? As you look at the previous years, okay, when we first started this in 2023, what we tried to do is we tried to look at how a team finished in 2022, tried to look at some of the computer analysis and, try to put a number that was a little indicative of where, many people might think either they go above or below. The idea is to get 50% of the money going one way and 50% of the other way. Yeah. So as you can see, when we went to year two in 2024 totals, some people's numbers went up. Howard University, coming off of a Celebration Bowl appearance and a MEAC title, right, went from 5.5 in 2023, which they did go over because that was the Celebration Bowl, to last season, we set the number at 7.5, and they failed miserably when going 4-8, went well below the number, right? As you can see, Delaware State, I don't think we've gone any lower than 2.5, Drew. In looking at the history and the data over the 2 years, we have never set a number lower than 2.5, despite having teams that have performed well below that number. And we never set the number higher than 8.5. And so as you look at North Carolina Central performing above expectation 2 consecutive years, Drew. So as we look at the previous 2 years, can we draw any kind of conclusions, or do you have any thoughts about the numbers or the teams in the last 2 years where Delaware State has performed below expectation the last 2 years and North Carolina Central has performed above expectation the last 2 years?
Well, I'm just looking at this in general. And when you look at it, most of the numbers that we have come up with have been right there on the cusp where you have to make that decision. Central,
good, right?
8.5 2 years ago, they won 9. That's what you want to see coming down to that last week. Do I get my money or not? Same thing last year. 7.5, they won 8. So you want to see it within 1. At 3.5, it's either going to be 3 or 4. So you want to see how close you are. And if you look at it, even Norfolk State 2 years ago, we set the number at 3.5. Perfect number to set it at because they won 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Morgan. One year they went below it. 1 year they went under it or over. Yeah.
Morgan 6.5. Perfect number. They was at 6. So if you were playing this is that drama, this is that thrill that you would want if you were at your local betting house or at your book. Right. So these numbers, for the most part, are spot on.
And these numbers are inclusive of FBS and Division II / NAIA or other, because there are some schools that play other wins. You know, even so we don't look down.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't limit it to just FCS games, right? So obviously, if you're playing an FBS opponent, there's a likelihood, 99%, that you're probably not winning that game. If you're playing a NAIA Division II, NCCCA, I don't know if I got the right number of C's, 3 C's. Did I say that right?
I think so.
There's an expectation that you're going to win 99% of the time. Okay? So that's all factored into the numbers. All right. Are we ready to debut the numbers and go through the over-unders for the MEAC?
Let's go.
All right. These are your predicted win numbers for the upcoming year. Let's start with Delaware State. I am leaving the line at 2.5 wins this year, Drew. They have not won over 2 games the last 2 seasons. I don't know where it's coming from, but when you look at their schedule this year, do you think they go over or under 2.5 this year?
No.
No. What you have to reply with over or under, Drew.
You say if they go more than 2.5, no, under.
All right. So Drew says under. I'm looking at. I don't know where it's coming from. Let's see. They've got Bowie State game on there, which I don't know. Who knows? Are you supposed to win that game? Maybe.
You're supposed to.
You're supposed to, but
right.
I just don't know where the third game is going to come from. That's the thing. I think they could get 2 this year. I just don't know where the third game. And the unknown of their coach leads me to say under. Howard University, 4.5 this year. Howard University plays an FBS opponent in Temple. They play Morehouse. And then everything else is FCS opponents throughout the schedule.
Under.
Ooh. Under 4.5 this year, huh?
Yep. I don't see 5.
Larry Scott, and this is Larry Scott's 6th year at Howard. And that does include the COVID year. So let's just say 4 full seasons. 4 full seasons.
Yes.
They have never won more than 6 games. 6-6 was a season high a couple years ago. I'm gonna go under 2. I don't know. I'm on the fence on them, but I'm gonna go under as well. I'll go under. Okay, this is an interesting one. Morgan State. Morgan State, the number is 7.5. Now, as you can see, we've been moving the number up over the last couple seasons in the Damon Wilson era. Year 1, it was 3.5. It went over. Year 2, it was 6.5, and they were just 1 win away from hitting that number. This year, Morgan State predicted to finish 3rd in the conference. Looking at their schedule, they've got 2 Division II teams, Central State and Miles, so that's at least 2 wins. They got VUL, so that's a 3rd win. And then the question is, really, how many MEAC games? And then they've got non-conference games. They've got at Georgetown, at Toledo, Towson, at South Alabama.
See, there's a clear path to Morgan getting to 8. You name those 3 games: Central State, Miles, VUL. If Morgan sweeps the MEAC, they're at 8, Brian.
Exactly. Sweeps the MEAC. Wow.
Sweeps the
Okay.
MEAC.
Yeah.
That's the easiest path for them to get to 8.
Right.
Because the non-conference, your FCS non-conference, let me say it like that.
Towson and Georgetown. Towson is at
That's
home.
South Alabama. So that's a FBS.
That's a loss.
Yeah.
Toledo, that's a loss.
Yes.
So really it comes down to Towson and Georgetown. Do you think they can get a 4th win out of that?
To afford
one
a
of
loss
those
in
two.
the MEAC.
And what?
That affords them a loss in the MEAC if they can pick up one of those two. I don't think so.
You don't think Morgan can go 4-1 in the MEAC?
They would, even if they went 4-1, Brian, they would still have to pick up another game.
I'm thinking they win one of those FCS games. I'm thinking I think they actually can win either Towson or Georgetown.
You can give them one of those.
And then if they go 4-1 in the MEAC, that's 8 wins.
That's 8 wins.
Remember, they have the preseason offensive and defensive player of the year. Third year for Damon Wilson, right? Damon Wilson.
Votes. But no first place votes.
No first place votes. Might be motivation, though.
I think we're gonna. You picking on my sounds like Brian.
I am. I'm going over.
Well, we gotta have some differences.
All right, so you're going under. So this is your 3rd consecutive under team. I'm going. So you're. But and look, if they finish with 7 wins,
I want them.
I
want them to finish with 8, but Brian, head, not heart.
All right. I'm thinking they can come out of the conference. I think logistically, statistically, 3 teams could finish 4-1 in the MEAC.
Yes.
Right?
You are correct.
So that's what I'm hedging on.
A 3-way tie between Morgan, potentially Central, and South Carolina State.
See, that's the kind of statistical analysis right there that's the kind of stuff you have to factor in right there. I almost want to change my pick now just because of that. Can Morgan do something they've never done? Do you believe in Damon Wilson that much? That's basically what it comes down to. Damn, Steve, that's a great analysis right there. That's a great pick. All right. So we're split on that one, yes?
Yes.
All right. Norfolk State. Exciting year for the Spartans. First year under Mike Vick. The number's 4.5. Last year they won 4 games. 2 years ago was 3. Not very much expectation last year. They snuck out a 4th win. The year before, it was the same number, and they went under it. What do you make of first-year head coach and what he's going to do this year?
I'm right there on that cusp, Brian. I found 4, including 2.
I have 2. I found 4,
including 2 in the MEAC. I am trying to find a 5th. If I am going to not give Morgan State the benefit of the doubt, I have to give Norfolk the benefit of the doubt that they will find a victory.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
I'm going to give Norfolk State the opportunity. I think they're going to find that 5th one.
I agree. I think 5 wins. I think 5 wins would be a successful season for first-year head coach Mike Vick. All right. This is the interesting one here. North Carolina Central. Again, we have never set a line higher than 8.5. Central has overachieved they've met expectation 2 consecutive years. What say you this year, Drew?
Let's say Central sweeps the MEAC. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying for conversation purposes. Let's say Central sweeps the MEAC. That's 5. If you got 2 SWAC opponents, let's give them a split no SWAC games. They get that 6.
Ooh,
Fanfare Southern.
Okay, wow.
I'm trying to get to the path to 8, Brian.
I got you.
All right. So that's 6. They've got Fayetteville. That's 7. A&T, I give them the 8th. That leaves me Old Dominion and East Texas A&M to get that 9th one.
Ooh.
8-3, Brian. 8-3.
And you know, it's funny. I think they only have 11 games, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yes, that is another factor that has to be taken into consideration with this. For some reason, in a year where you can play 12, North Carolina Central only has 11 games on their schedule. I think they might be one of the only HBCUs that are playing 11 games. I think that makes it very tough to get the 9th win. And I'm less optimistic about them beating both SWAC opponents this year. I think they lose both of those games,
right?
Personally,
right. If they had that 12th game, I would probably get them to them. But you know, I only see 8.
All right, so you go under. I'm going under as well. I'm going under 8.5. And then South Carolina State, the number did not move much, 5.5, but it's a big jump. Is that too much of a jump? 8.5.
Considering what they did last year, it's not too big.
And who their coaches.
Right, it's not too big of a jump. Once again, using the same logic, you have to give. If you give South Carolina State sweeping the MEAC, I know both can't sweep the MEAC, everybody.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you doing? I'm sticking to my 4-1. I'm giving my 4-1 theory. So.
I'm just trying to give you the path to see if we can get there. That would mean a sweep through the MEAC. A&T and Savannah State is 7. Bethune-Cookman would be 8. That leaves Wofford, South Carolina, which is an L, USF, L, and Charleston Southern. So, with the sweep, can you get Charleston Southern and or Wofford? Can I get one of them? Yes. With a loss in the MEAC, can I get both of them? That would be tough, Brian. Under.
I'm right there with you. I go under as well.
Under.
All right. So just to recap, Drew is going under in every opponent except Norfolk State, where he says Norfolk State will go over 4.5 this year, but he's saying under on all the other lines. Me, I almost had him, little gnat. I am the only two teams that I'm over on. I'm over on Morgan State and Norfolk State, under on everybody else. All right, let's take a look at what the computer says. The computer predicted model, the Massey prediction for everybody. Ooh, look at that. Look at the Massey prediction on North Carolina Central, 10-2. South Carolina State, 9-3.
Who are the two? Who the two that Massey has them losing to?
Well, it's the FBS opponents. That's it. They think that, I mean, they play Old Dominion and is it East Texas A&M?
Yes.
East Texas A&M. I don't even know who East Texas A&M is, to be perfectly honest, but I think those are the two losses that Massey predicts.
So, and the computer is giving, obviously, for South Carolina State.
And actually, hold on, let me double check that, because I think remember I said they only have 11, so I may have to check my
9-2.
my numbers here. So it may be 9-2 for
And for South Carolina State, they're giving them South Carolina, USF as 2 of those 3 losses.
Let's see. The 2 losses for Central predicted
probably
are New Hampshire. New Hampshire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You don't have New Hampshire on your master.
10. Okay, so that must have been an added game then.
Okay.
New Hampshire and Old Dominion then. So did I not have who did I have in that? So that's the 20. Okay, so when I put this together, it wasn't there. So they do play 12. So I'm sorry. North Carolina Central does play 12 this year. So their 2 losses are expected by Massey to be New Hampshire and Old Dominion.
Gotcha.
So
interesting.
There you go. Yeah.
And for South Carolina State, I'm assuming the 2 losses are the 2 FBS opponents and North Carolina Central.
Yes. Let me see. The 2 losses would be South Carolina, South Florida, predicted. Oh, and at North Carolina Central.
Yes.
So there you go.
All right.
So there we go. All right. You want to go SWAC East or SWAC West first?
East. The West think they best, but the beast is in the East. So let's go East.
Let's go East. All right. Looking at the SWAC East from a historical perspective over the last 2 seasons, as you can see, a couple of schools who have performed below expectation the last 2 seasons, Alabama A&M. We set the numbers at 5.5 and 6.5, and they just missed going over by 1 game, right? They were like right there on the verge. As you can see, 2 years ago, Alabama State, Bethune, and Florida A&M both went over the number. And then the following year came back and went under the number. Jackson State, a team that went under in TC Taylor's first year, went over, of course, big time in the championship season. And then Valley has very similar to Delaware State, still has not cleared over 2 wins in the last 2 seasons. Also, what's interesting, Drew, look at all of 2024. Nobody in the East went above expectation other than Jackson State.
And this surprises you how, Brian?
I didn't say it surprised me. I'm just pointing it out. All right. Here we go. You ready for the BCSN totals for this upcoming season?
Yes.
The predicted number where we like to set the line on the over and under. Here we go. So let's start at the top with Alabama A&M. New coach, Sam Shade. But we're leaving the number right where it was a year ago, Drew, at 6.5. For Coach Sam Shade's first year.
Give me the over.
Ooh, juicy. Right off the bat, taking the over. I
see a path to 8 for Alabama A&M.
Let's see. Lane, Bethune, Valley. That's 3. Ooh. Not a cupcake schedule. Alcorn is home. Jackson State is home. Alabama State, of course, that's the Magic City Classic.
FAMU is home.
FAMU's home. Prairie View is home.
That's what I say. I have a path.
You see a path to 7.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm in agreement. I think I can see 7. I can see 7 this year. They just missed it by 1 game the last 2 years. I think this is the year it can go over. Okay. Alabama State, 8.5. Very generous. Very generous number. But, I mean, this is the year where you got, might this be the year of Andrew Body. Nobody's talking about Andrew Body, though. What do you got, Drew? As you look at the schedule.
Under. They've got some monster road games at Alabama State this year. Obviously, they open the season with at UAB, which you would think that would be an L. They go to Southern, to FAM, to Jackson State, to Prairie View. That's tough. Now, the good thing is a lot of their game, and I say to Jackson State, but the Jackson State game is actually the Mobile game, if I remember correctly.
You might be right. Yeah.
Right. So that's, which is honestly, I know Alabama A&M, the game is in the state of Alabama, but that may be more of a home game for Jackson State than it would be for Alabama A&M.
Somebody said no, that's Alabama A&M. That's playing Jackson State and Mobile.
Okay, my bad. I knew it was one of them.
Yeah.
All right.
And
so that's right, because that's Jackson State's homecoming. I apologize.
Yeah, and Crook, you can't have a push. There's a reason why we set a half number here. So it either it's to avoid
like
a push.
We did last year, Brian.
Unless what?
Unless we get rain like we did last year with Clark, Atlanta, and Florida Memorial. That's
true. There's your opportunity for a push. Yeah, but it's very odd and rare that you get a push on a half a number. Yeah, all right, so I've got what I'm going with. What are you going with? 8.5 is a lot.
I've got under. Too tough of a road.
I've got. I don't know if I'm not willing to say that State is going to be the best Alabama team this season. All right, Bethune-Cookman. Ooh, I feel like the line at 3.5 might be high. Coach Raymond Woody, last 2 seasons, 2 wins. Last year, 3 wins. I think the number being 3.5 is probably the middle of the last 2 years, where 2 years ago it was 2.5. Last year it was too high at 4.5. I think 3.5 is kind of maybe right about the right number for Bethune. The Edward Waters game is no longer a gimme, given the coaching change. I think that just took a potential win off the board for Bethune-Cookman. They still have to play UAPB and Valley this year, so that might be 2 wins. Where's Bethune going to get 2 more wins at? Where is Bethune-Cookman going to get 2 more wins?
Well, they would only need 1 more win if they take care of Edward Waters Valley.
If they take care of Edward Waters, but I don't think they take care of Edward Waters anymore.
Well, the thing is, all 3 of those games are at home, Brian. So
you're right. I mean, but
so you have Alabama A&M at home, you have Southern at home, and oops, wait a minute, just lost my schedule. Alabama A&M at home, Southern at home. Wow, that's it. So you travel to Grambling, travel to Montgomery, and you travel to Orangeburg. Under.
Yeah, I say under too. I mean, hey, good for Coach Woody. If they can get 4 to 5 wins this year, that would be an improvement. If they can get 6 wins, it's a great season. But I don't know. I haven't seen enough to make me want to buy. All right. I'm gonna jump to Valley. I'm gonna save FAMU and Jackson State for last. Jump to Valley again, right there with our other school. 2.5 is set the number. Do you believe in all the new talk and the changes going on at Valley to think that Valley can get 3 to 4 wins this year? Again, very well noted that they probably could have gone winless last year had it not been for their one road win. But I'm just saying.
Under. Let's not even waste our time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no game that they will be favored outside of Lincoln of California.
Yeah, they don't have VUL and Lincoln. So much like and they have to play Bethune. So it's like, there you go. So both of us have under. Okay. Man. All right, here we go. Florida A&M and Jackson State, last two. Let's start with Florida A&M. The last 2 years, the number has been at 8.5 for Florida A&M. Of course, last year was what it was, right? They went under. Even had they beaten Valley, they still would have gone under the number last year, right? So, come back for second year under Coach James Colsey III. The FAMU number is set at 8.5, Drew. Where are you at?
I'm going over, and let me tell you why. I'm not looking at this through orange and green glasses. I'm a loss to FAU. I'll give you a loss to Jackson State. I'll even give you the loss to Central. That's 3 losses. That's still 9-3.
Still 9-3. Yep.
That's still 9-3. Giving you those 3 losses. I take the over because I do not expect Florida A&M to lose all 3 of those games. But even conservatively speaking, I'm giving you those 3 losses. I don't really see Florida A&M losing any other game that they have on their schedule outside of those 3.
I can't echo it any better than what you just said. And I think the big difference a year ago and this year, FAMU lost a game to Prairie View when their starting quarterback went down and their backup quarterback wasn't up to par. This year, I think they have a legit QB1 and QB2. However it plays out, they'll have 2 legit quarterbacks. I think year 2 in the system that they're going to run, they'll be better. And I'm of that same thought process, even though I may differ about who those losses could come to. I think this is a 9 or 10 win opportunity season for Florida A&M. I'll just say it like that. I know a lot of you guys, other than Kylan, everybody else seems to be on the under. All right, here we go. Jackson State. Now, if you notice, Drew, for the first time in doing this, Jackson State's number is 9.5. And again, this is in part, I think, because this is a 12-game schedule this season. I think if this were an 11-game schedule, it probably would be 8.5. But look at Jackson State's schedule They play one FBS opponent, Southern Miss. I've seen some articles and some thoughts out there that maybe this is a Jackson State team that could beat Southern Miss. Even if they lose to Southern Miss, they're going to be favored in every other game they play in, even on the road at Southern, on the road at FAMU. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, those are really the only two tough road games that they have.
Now, Brian, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Jackson State only has 11.
They have a 12th game. It's where are you looking at the
matrix
on the sheet?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
They got 2 buys.
Does Jackson State really only have 11? I thought they had 12. Hold on, let me double check. Because I was just checking this the other day.
And I've had a couple people in the chat who reminded us Jackson State only has 11.
Okay. Well, so maybe that is the case. Okay.
That changes my thinking. Does that change our number? Does that drop it back to 8.5? Before I put my prediction in.
No. Because again, I'm telling you, Jackson is favorite in every game, even the road games. And they have, think about the level of returners that they have coming back. I mean, this is not since the Shedeur Sanders sophomore season has Jackson State come back as loaded as they were in a championship season.
All right, here we go.
I think this is legit 9.5 number. And
let's see if we can get to.
They're going to be favored in every game except for that Southern Miss game.
So we have to get to 2 losses in order to disqualify Jackson State based on a 9.5 number.
That's correct.
So
a lot of confidence in chat rooms, even regardless of playing 11 games. Everyone is confident. Everyone's confident. It's a double-digit win season.
So if we give you Southern Miss, if we take that game out, give them a loss to Southern Miss, although you said they would potentially be favored against the Southern Miss. Your next toughest games are on the road if you're Jackson State. That's going to be Southern. That's going to be FAMU. Do you lose both of those games? If this was a 12 game, I'm definitely taking the over because I couldn't see Jackson State dropping both of those. Yeah, I'm still right now, until somebody beat their ass, I'm still taking the over, Brian.
All right.
Because they could, especially they could beat if they could beat Southern Miss.
But see, you're sounding like me. You're sounding like me last year, which is that's why I can only laugh right now.
And here's the crazy thing. I could actually see them beating Southern Miss and then losing to either Southern or FAMU later on.
That's possible. Yes. I could see that too. I could see that too.
2 losses.
I was so close. I was so close to coming over to the dark side. I really wish they were playing 12. I don't know why they're not playing 12, but maybe playing 11 and having 2 buys will work out in such an advantage for them that we don't even know. Wicked.
I'm gonna be brave. I'm going over.
I'm going under. I told you, I don't think they're going to Tallahassee and winning. I don't think they have a problem going to Southern and winning. I don't think they're coming to Tallahassee and getting a win. I don't. And You've beaten me to death about the Southern Miss thing. Like, I would want to, like, what was it, last year or 2 years ago? Was it last year I thought they could win their FBS game and then they lost?
Yeah.
You've beaten me into the point of not believing that an HBCU can beat an FBS opponent, regardless of who they are. So I'm forced then to say a 9-2 season for Jackson State puts them under the number. Maybe it should have made it 8.5, but
8.5, I definitely was taking it.
You would take
9.5 makes you think.
It does. Again, I just thought, given the predictions, it was worthy. Okay, let's take a look at the Massey predictions. The Massey predictions for this upcoming season. There you go. 10-1, Drew. I think a 9-3 Alabama State is the most curious thing to me. But again, I'll the reason I think the Jackson State line is 9.5, the level of returners in combination with the schedule. I mean, this is supposed to be the best team.
And Brian, let me throw something else out at you. I'm hedging my bet on FAMU and or Jackson State getting to the SWAC championship game.
Correct.
So that would give me another opportunity for a W.
That's true. That's true, because the SWAC championship game does count. And should Jackson State, stumble somewhere and still make it to the championship game and then win, that would give them their 10th win.
Yes.
They could, yeah. So you're right. 10-2 FAMU wins the SWAC over 10-1 Jackson State. EA said. That's assuming that one loss by Jackson State is to FAMU.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
And that could happen.
2-10 win. And would Jackson State have an opportunity to play in the playoffs based on scheduling?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. SJG, tune in Wednesday night. ONG Strike Zone. We break down the FAMU schedule. I will explain to you why I think FAMU wins that many games this year. Tune in Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's a tease. It's a solid tease for another show. All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, we're going to break down the SWAC West and the 3 independent non-HBCU conference schools right after this break. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
HBCU football fans, the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff is celebrating 20 years this August. From Birmingham to Orlando to campus sites and now in Atlanta. The Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff has been a mainstay in HBCU athletics. 2 decades of providing a national platform on ESPN and now ABC for the finest HBCU programs in the country and some of the most talented players and coaches that have represented them. Forrest Jackson, Tariq Cohen, Javon Hargrave, Darius Leonard, Rod Broadway, Buddy Pugh, all have left their mark on this storied event. This year, we celebrate by welcoming North Carolina Central and Southern to Atlanta, which has cemented its place as the HBCU football capital. Every team who participates in this event looks to start and finish their season in the A by gaining a spot in the Cricket Celebration Bowl. That, however, is earned by becoming conference champions. And it starts right here in Week 0. MEAC versus SWAC. The rivalry is real. Thank you for the last 20 years of support. The story never ends.
History? Yeah, we built that. Pride? We fuel that. And on August 30th, we run that. Two powerhouse HBCUs, Howard Bison, FAMU Rattlers, one legendary showdown under the Miami lights at Hard Rock Stadium. The energy unmatched. The culture undeniable. The vibes straight HBCU. 2025 Invesco QQQ Orange Blossom Classic. Get your tickets and book your hotel now at orangeblossomclassic.com. Saturday, August 30th at 4 p.m. in Miami Gardens.
All right, welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap. Bryan and A.D. here. We have gone through 12 of the 21 HBCU Division I win totals, predicting or providing our over and under numbers on where we think these schools will finish this upcoming year. I know, wow, all of a sudden my mouse doesn't want to work. Damn it. All right. Let's get into talking about the SWAC West. And then we'll finish up with the independent Hampton, North Carolina A&T, and Tennessee State. All right. The SWAC West, from a historical perspective over the last 2 seasons when we've done this, you can see it's almost been a split where Alcorn, UAPB, and Grambling went from going over the number we set in 23 and under in 24. Prairie View has been that school that has just missed going above each season by just a game. And then, of course, Southern and Texas Southern went from missing the mark a year and under and went over it a following year. You know, you pointed this out earlier, Drew. These numbers have been pretty close. It's like not too many times do you see a team really miss. I mean, the Southern 2 seasons ago was 8.5, and they fell 2 games short of that. Most of them are usually over or under by at least a game, right? No big jump, like no big misses, I guess. All right, let's go to the numbers. You ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go. The BCSN totals for the SWAC West teams are as follows. And we're going to start with Alcorn State, moving into, I believe it's the second year under Coach Cedric Thomas. They finished 6-6 last year. Just missed going over that number by a game. This year, they're sitting on a 7.5 win total this year. Alcorn predicted to finish second in the conference. They only have one FBS opponent, and that's Mississippi State. And they do play Lincoln, California this year.
That's a wash.
Yeah. So, there we go. What do you got, Drew? Alcorn State, over or under 7.5?
7.5. See, there's one.
I feel that's a number that sits right on the line for Alcorn. Again, they opened the season at Northwestern State on a Thursday. Then they traveled to Alabama A&M.
Under.
Ooh.
I see five losses. Easy for me to count the losses and the wins with some of these teams.
You said what now?
I said it's easy for me to count the losses instead of the wins with some of these teams.
7.5.
I see 5 losses.
I don't know what to think about this one, to be honest. If I buy into, are we going to call it parity or mediocrity in the SWAC West when we have somebody win the division with 3 losses? What are we calling it this year?
Depends on where you're sitting at. If you win it, it's parity. If you're in the East, it's mediocrity. But let's talk about that, Brian, because there is so much parity in the West.
Yeah.
Let me give you my 4 losses. Okay. Alabama A&M, non-conference matchup.
Okay.
Mississippi State.
Yep.
FAMU, Jackson State.
Okay.
Right?
4. I agree.
Right. That leaves no margin of error.
None.
For Alcorn, right there. Because there is so much parity in the West, and anybody can beat anybody on any given Saturday, I have to give them at least 1 loss, Brian, if I'm taking those other 4. That's why I'm going under.
So you're counting the Northwestern State game as a loss?
No, I'm not counting that as a loss.
No, you're not.
No. That's one I'm up in the air about.
See,
I Northwestern State, but then they come back the next week and they come back 1 and 2 going into the bye because they have Alabama, A&M, and Mississippi State.
I think there's a benefit for them, the fact that they get Grambling, Southern, and Prairie View at home. And
but they travel to UAPB, Texas Southern.
That's the one right there. That might be the 5th. That's the one that is dangerous.
No,
5th game.
All you need is the 4th. 5th loss. That's your 5th loss.
Yep, you're right. I'm going under as well. All right. There we go. All right. UAPB, team that has underachieved. Barely went over the number 2 years ago. Went under it last year. 2.5 is back again, one of the lowest totals on the board. They have a Westgate team, which I think is a Division II opponent. They play Lincoln. I think that's Lincoln, Missouri. They travel to Bethune. Don't forget they lost what they lost. They lost a quarterback, a wide receiver. They lost offensive production and only won 3 games last year. Ooh, JT says over for UAP.
I'm taking the over also.
Really? What are you seeing? What am I missing?
Okay, they've got 2 Division IIs on their schedule, Brian, and they've got to pick up 1 game. They are in the West. They will pick up 1 game just because they're in the West. That's 3, Brian. I can get to 3 real fast.
They've been at 3 the last 2 seasons.
That's all I need. If you said it at 2.5.
Was it set too low?
Yeah, you said it at 2.5. I can get to 3.
I just thought 2.5 felt appropriate given the fact what they lost.
I understand that.
Offensive production they lost.
But they've won 3 the last 2 years also. If you just said it at 3.5, we'd have a conversation. At 2.5, I'm taking the money.
All right. Grambling State at 5.5. Mickey Joseph, 2nd season. 5 wins last year, 6 wins 2 years ago. The number's sitting right in the middle, 5.5 this year. I don't think anybody's talking about Grambling. I don't know if anybody knows what Grambling has this year. They play Langston, to open the season. They've got Kentucky State after traveling to Ohio State. So that's 2 wins. East Texas A&M, not really sure who or what East Texas A&M is. But they travel to UAPB. They host Bethune-Cookman. Where can Grambling get 6 games? Oh, how 4. The mighty G have fallen.
I've got 4, including 1 in the West. Can they get a second one out the West, which would give them 5? Bottoms out for the G. Bottoms out.
Under?
Yes, bottoms out.
I went under as well. 5.5. All right, Prairie View A&M. This will be interesting. New coach Tremaine Jackson predicted to finish 2nd in the SWAC, I believe. Or 2nd or 3rd? 3rd. You can see that the program won 5 last year, 6 a year ago. Appreciate it, G-Boom. East Texas A&M is in the Southland. Okay, appreciate that. Prairie View. UT Rio Grande Valley. That's a home game, even though they have that school has a beautiful new campus or a new stadium. I saw some videos of that. They travel to Rice. They host New Mexico State. Northwestern State. Not New Mexico State, Northwestern State. And they play Lincoln. They play Valley and UAPB to end the season.
I'm taking PV. I'm taking them over.
Any particular love for Coach Jackson?
With that, plus a favorable schedule, and once again, I'm hedging on Prairie View being one of the teams that could potentially win the West and get to the SWAC championship game to give them an extra opportunity.
That's fair. I think 7 wins is very possible for Prairie View this year. 7 doesn't feel like a stretch.
No.
1 game over 500. We know Coach Jackson can coach. It's just a matter of whether he's got the right personnel in year 1. Southern University. This will be interesting. Southern University, the number is 7.5. 8 wins last year and a trip to the SWAC championship game. 6 wins 2 years ago. Second year for Coach Terrence Graves. We're going to know a lot about Southern right off the rip in 2 of the first 3 games. This Saturday against North Carolina Central. And then 2 weeks after when they host Alabama State. 7.5. Somehow I feel 7.5 might be a little low, but we'll see.
There are 6 games on this schedule where Southern should be favored. And then there are 6 games, probably 5 of the remaining 6, Southern will be a massive underdog. When I say massive, more than a 1-touchdown underdog.
Yeah.
We know how close Southern has played everybody over the last couple of years. Yep. Southern will win a game they should not win. Southern will lose a game that they should win going away.
Yep.
Given that history, I've got to go 7-5.
Ooh. right, this is the one we're Oppo on. We're Oppo. I'm going Southern over this year. There's not too many ones that we are Oppo on thus far.
Yeah. So, Southern doesn't. Bryan, in order to get to those big win totals, you have to have big score capabilities. Southern has not shown me the ability to blow people out. Southern is the high blood pressure team of the SWAC.
That's a good analogy, right?
Take your high blood pressure pills. Don't eat all that salt before going into the stadium, because they will drive your pressure up. I mean, what they won? What they played like 3-4 overtime games last year?
I think so, like three. Yeah, definitely 3.
Yeah. So until Southern has showed me that they can actually come in and beat the teams they're supposed to beat without it being a dogfight, I've got to go under.
If they have a QB, if only you got a QB, Adrian, I'm going over. I'm going 8. I think they can get 8 wins. I think the 4, and again, I'm basing it off of.
Are we hedging with the championship game?
No, because even if they get to the championship game, they have to win the championship game, and I'm not predicting that anybody from the West is going to beat anybody from the East.
You just
whether it's Jackson State or FAMU. I don't think anybody.
Can we even get somebody from the West to even host a doggo game, let alone win it?
I don't think that's happening this year either. Don't think that's happening either. There's a good bet. What are the odds that you would put on? What number would you give on a Western Division team hosting the SWAC championship? Like plus 300, plus 400 to start with? I'm just saying. If the 3 best teams are Jackson State, FAMU, and Alabama State, both predicted, look at their win predictions. I'm thinking plus 300 before you even get to a SWAC team.
I'll take that.
What do you say? 50 on what? What did you put 50 on? A SWAC West team?
A SWAC West team hosted. I'll take that one.
Yeah. All right. You'll take those. You'll take those odds. I mean, 3-1. I mean, yeah, you take those, but that's still crazy. That's crazy. I'm going Southern over. All right, Texas Southern, 5.5. They won 5 wins last year. First year under Chris Dishman, which was an improvement of 2 wins over a year ago. Texas Southern, of course, opening matchup against Prairie View. That'll be interesting for both teams. Traveling to California, I'm not even going to get excited about, even though California is like mud, can't get excited about an FCS team going to FBS territory. Lamar, they 2 weeks in a row, how about this, a 3-game road? How about this month of October? This is where Texas Southern, if they run this 4-game stretch 4-0, Drew, watch out. At Valley, at UAPB, at Grambling, hosting VUL. There's a very strong likelihood Texas Southern goes, at worst case, 3-1 in that stretch. Possibly 4-0.
They can go 4-0 in that stretch, and then they come off a bye and have Alcorn at home.
It's just Alcorn.
Yeah, but the fact that after that stretch, you get a bye day, you get a home game against Alcorn.
But at that point, they're in the hunt, though. At that point, once you hit that point, those last 4 weeks in November, I mean, they're playing for a chance to win the SWAC West at that point. Motivation might be a little different from those kids. And there's no Jackson State. There's no FAMU. If, in truth, the team that has the most favorable schedule in the West, and I don't know, somebody do a quick schedule check here. No FAMU, no Jackson State. You get the.
They do have the 2 Alabama schools.
They do have the 2 Alabamas, but one of them's home though.
Yeah,
one of them's home, and Alcorn is home. I shoot. I don't know about you, but I'm telling you now, I like the over with Texas Southern.
And Lord Jesus, I hate to say it, Brian, and I should know better than to follow you, but you almost talked me into this one.
Almost. I like how you said almost.
You could talk me into this one.
I was just excited when I looked and I saw that, no Jackson State, no FAMU. It was that 4-game stretch, Drew.
I agree, because I didn't see that. What about this Texas Southern matchup in late November, Brian? That could be for the SWAC West title? I don't know if it's going to be for the SWAC West title, but that could be the game that makes the Bayou Classic relevant or not relevant.
Yeah. That's true.
Because if Texas Southern beat Southern in that game, the Bayou Classic may not even be relevant.
It's always relevant. That's the crazy part, isn't it?
Relevant to the race.
Relevant to the race, right. Always relevant to the race.
So
if Texas Southern messes up, if they come out the box and get a win in the Labor Day Classic against Prairie View, watch out. That 4-game stretch. So what are you going over under? You riding with me? You riding? Let's go.
I'm going over. They could actually afford to lose that game, and based on the rest of their SWAC schedule.
Let's go.
But here's the thing, Brian. Guess who also has that same schedule?
Who?
PV.
Ooh.
PV has the same exact SWAC schedule. So the winner of that
but a higher expectation level, 6.5 wins though.
I'm just saying, but the winner of that classic will have a leg up on the competition.
Yeah, that's true.
Both have a gimme game. PV with Lincoln of California, Texas Southern with VUL. Although I like the timing of Texas Southern's schedule better, I'm not sure if I like that better because, hell, if I'm PV, I've got UAPB and Valley at home to close out the season. What more can you ask for?
All right, here are the totals predicted by Massey. Ooh. Alcorn 8-4. Yeah, you guys in the UAPB 3 wins, huh? Okay. Grambling 500, Prairie View 5-7. Seeing Southern at 6-6 is very surprising to me. Any thoughts there on those predicted win totals? Look at the parity, or what are we calling it? Again, what are we calling it? Parity or mediocrity in the SWAC West?
Depends on which side of the fence you stand on.
Depends on which side of the right.
If you're in the East, it's mediocre. If you're in the West, it's parity.
Somebody will win the SWAC West with 3 losses. Can we safely predict that?
Was Southern's 7-1 last year an aberration?
Well, didn't a 7-win come as a result of a couple overtime games?
The fact that somebody went 7-1.
It was a result of a couple overtime wins, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Here's another
SWAC championship. We've seen that championship before, Israel, haven't we? Alcorn and Jackson, haven't we seen that championship before?
No. Because they were both in the East. They were both in the East previously.
That's right. Good point.
Yeah. And Brian, here's the other question. Yeah. Will we get a 7-1 winner out of the West? Will we get another 8-0 in the East? Since COVID, every East champion has gone 8-0.
Great question. Hold on. I love that. I'm going to put that as a new poll question. I just ended the other poll. The homecoming poll, 74% said 74% liked more security. Okay, I'm starting a new poll here. Okay, new poll. What is more likely to happen? Hold on. Which is more likely to happen? Unbeaten SWAC East team, 7-1 SWAC West team. How about that? Yes?
I like it.
All right, there it is. New poll. Go vote now. Which is more likely to happen? Unbeaten SWAC East team or 7-1 SWAC West team? I want to see what you guys think.
Every champion since COVID has gone 8-0 in the East.
Wow. Great stat. Okay. I'm sorry. I moved the graphic. Were we finished here?
Yeah, we're done.
Okay. Okay. Wrapping it up here with the independents. North Carolina, again, look at this. We've had, if I go back and look, we've had Delaware State, Valley, A&T, and then there's somebody else that have all like one win, or was that it?
That was it.
No one out of the West. Yeah, one win. And that's the last 2 seasons. Look at
Delaware
that.
State, UAPV, Valley, and Norfolk. I mean, A&T.
A&T. Wow.
So
Talk about the last 2 years. Jesus. Woo. Tough. You can see Hampton, 5 wins each of the last 2 seasons. And Tennessee State. Tennessee State is one of the few programs that have performed above expectation each of the last couple years. Of course, new coach Reggie Barlow. All right, here are the numbers. 5.5 is the number for Hampton. Seems kind of fitting because that's right about what they do, right? A&T back at 2.5. New coach. What's the new coach's name? I forgot his name. Sean Gibbs. Sean Gibbs. 2.5. Can A&T win 3? Can A&T win 4? Can the Colonel's original recipe come home to Greensboro? And then Tennessee State at 7.5. Again, predicted to finish like last or second to last in the OVC, but I think that's just because nobody really knows what to do. All right, let's go through it here quickly here. Hampton, 5.5. Of course, Hampton plays the nice HBCU schedule. They start on the road at Jackson State. Then they travel to North Carolina A&T. They play Howard. We know how that usually goes. And then they even host Norfolk State in between playing seven conference games. Can Hampton get 5?
Can Hampton beat anybody besides an HBCU?
Ooh, yeah, that's what it seems to come down to. Although, another heavyweight, two of the 3 heavyweights from the conference left. So maybe there's a chance this year.
And what did Hampton do against the rest of the conference? Under.
Ooh, Drew, we're up on that. I'm going under. I'm going over. I think 6 wins is possible.
I don't. I'm glad you do. I'm glad somebody.
Hampton is a school that I feel like I always end up rooting for in October when nobody else, and then they just kind of they fall flat on their face sometime mid-October. I almost get so close to being like, I told you I believed in Hampton, and then they just like fall.
You know why, Brian? Because the BCSN polls will have Hampton probably in the top 5 when we release that first poll in the September 1st, October, because of their schedule. And then they will get into the meat of their schedule and fall out 2 weeks later.
Right. Yep. Good point. Okay.
Adam, even if you beat Elon, that still doesn't get you to 6.
What did he say?
I'll screenshot it
if you find it. Yeah. We beat Elon. Well, who said A&T beat Elon?
Yeah, I'm talking about Hampton.
Oh, Hampton beat Elon. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
even if you give them that game, you still owe me one more, and that's assuming you beat all 4 HBCUs, which I don't think you are going to do.
I'm with you, Adam. I'm riding with the Pirates. Put me on the pirate ship.
Y'all be prepared to walk the plank. Let's go on to the A&T.
I am the captain now. A&T 2.5. Jesus. Can the Aggies find 3 wins? Where are the Aggies going to get 3 wins at? Dear Lord. Traveling, let's see. Their HBCU schedule looks like playing at Tennessee State to open the season. Then they host Hampton. That'll be an interesting game going towards somebody's total. Then, of course, they've got the Aggie Eagle Classic against their rival from down the street or down the road, whatever they say it. And then they host South Carolina State for homecoming. That's not going to be pretty. And then, of course, they played the CAA conference. Ooh, Aggies. Can you get 3? Can the original recipe produce?
I believe in Sean Gibbs, but I'm gonna have to put him in the freezer for right now. Under.
Sean Gibbs. I believe Sean Gibbs can get 3. I think he's better than 1 win the last 2 seasons.
One, Brian.
I think Sean Gibbs, the ghost of Rod Broadway and all kinds of old former North Carolina A&T alums will be standing on the sideline on that cold day in November when they're trying to get their 3rd win, Drew. And I think it'll happen. I think it'll happen. 3 wins. So I'm going over. So I'm oppo you there as well. Tennessee State, 7.5. Tennessee State has gone over the number that we've predicted the last 2 seasons. Big time last year. I mean, wow, did they zoom over it. That was probably the biggest margin of anybody, a 4-win margin based on where we predicted them. And so brought it down to 7.5. New coach, but a great coaching staff, though, Drew. They play North Carolina A&T. They host Alabama A&M. They play Howard for homecoming. And I don't know if the OVC is as good. I don't think it's as good as the CAA. What do you feel about Reggie Barlow?
Outside of North Dakota State, Ryan, if Tennessee State is not favored, they will be within a score favorite, and there will be a couple push-em games. And push-em games are 3 points or less when you're on the road.
Yep.
I'm taking the over with Tennessee State. Because the only one I'm definitely not giving them is North Dakota State.
Right.
I think every other game
winnable.
Very winnable.
Yeah. I like Tennessee State over 7.5 as well. All right, you ready for this? Massey predicted total or predicted season record. Woo, sweet Jesus. Not a donut for North Carolina A&T. Ooh, the computers do not like North Carolina.
Even Valley got a win.
Even Valley got a win, right? But in all honesty, though, Valley, didn't they have like a Division II or NAIA school on their schedule? Lincoln, they had Lincoln on the schedule.
Yes.
Yeah. A&T has no breaks. No cupcakes on the A&T schedule. So 2.5. I mean, if the number had been set at 1.5, Drew, I mean, would you take If the number was set at 1.5, would you take the 2 in North Carolina A&T?
I don't know, Brian.
I just can't see Sean Gibbs. I just can't see a Sean Gibbs.
I like to say, it ain't this. This is
0-12.
no knock on Sean Gibbs. This is a knock on that schedule that he's inheriting.
But the cupboard is not that bare at A&T, is it?
Yeah, but the refrigerator is not full.
Well, but it's not bare though. It may not be full, but it's not bare. And you're not trying to eat for the winter. You're just trying to eat, to survive.
Eat not too hungry.
Exactly. You're not trying to eat to be full. That chicken, you just need a little taste. Man, 0-12. That's savage. Woo. Damn, I don't think I've ever seen that in the history of paying attention to the Massey predictions. I didn't. No wins? Nothing? Damn. Where on Dr. Cavill's top 21, where was A&T? Do you recall? Who was at the bottom? Who were the bottom 3 teams?
I'll tell you in a second because I've actually got it saved on my hard drive.
All right. While you look at that, let me just go over the 5 that we are oppo on. We are opposite on Morgan State. We're opposite. Drew thinks Morgan State goes under. I think the number was 7.5. I say over 7.5. Jackson State in the SWAC East. Again, only playing an 11-game schedule. I wonder if it's too late to add a 12th game. But anyway, you have them going over the 9.5 number. I have them going under 9.5. Southern University. The Southern line is 7.5. Drew says under. I say over. And then we are opposite on the 2 schools in the CAA. Hampton, the number is 5.5. I say over. Drew says under. North Carolina A&T is 2.5. Drew, he's almost thinking like the Massey Computers. He's saying under. I actually think that Sean Gibbs can coach and get 3 wins. So I'm going over. Okay, so yeah, that's about right. That's about right then. Looking at Dr. Cavill's poll, the worst 3 preseason ranked teams. Yep, that kind of falls in line, doesn't it?
Yep.
Teams that have gone one in whatever the last two seasons. Delaware State. Let's see, the last 2 seasons, Delaware State 1-11 and 1-10. Mississippi Valley State, the last 2 seasons, 1-11, 1-10. North Carolina A&T, the last 2 seasons, 1-11, 1-10. That's about right.
Can we get some crooked numbers between these schools? 1-11.
What do you mean?
Crooked numbers. Everything straight up and down. 1, 1, 1. Here's the next 7, just for reference purposes.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And finally, the top 7.
Right. Which I hold hard. Look, I feel confident now about my Morgan State pick and my Southern pick. I feel good. Both of those teams I had over. I feel good based on the and of course I had told you here's the one thing that, and looking at the points, you know what that tells me? Looking at the points, the closeness between Jackson State and FAMU, right? Because it's all based on whether you finish first or second, right? So that tells me more people. That means most everybody picked Jackson State 1, Florida A&M 2. That's what that tells me. Because look at the difference between 2 and 3. I mean, what is that, 20 points?
Yes.
Yeah. So North Carolina Central, those 2 people who voted them first, everybody else picked them third at least third, maybe fourth if you look at Southern, the fact that Southern was 190. So I don't know. Good stuff. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll make sure to kind of create a graphic and put this up on social media. Excuse me. With the hope that we maybe can generate a little bit of buzz over the course of the week. Love to hear more thoughts and opinions on where you guys think where you think your team will finish. Where will your team win or lose this year? All right.
Bryan,
last words, Drew.
See you in Atlanta, bro. If you don't beat me there, watch me while I'm there. I know that's not how the phrase goes, but hopefully everybody will be tuning in this Saturday to the Cricket BX Swag Challenge. If you are not there live and in person, eyeballs are important.
They are.
Eyeballs either in the stadium or on the tube.
Yes, indeed. ABC, 7:30 Eastern. You can also stream it on the app. That's good as well. It's just as good. Make sure you're watching. Even if you're watching something else, have it on, leave it on. And watch out for the coaches press conference tomorrow, Monday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, MEACSwagChallenge.com or right on the Black College Sports Network.
Yes. Also, Tuesday, for those who are band heads, we will have the Band of the Year kickoff press conference on Tuesday. That will occur during prime time, Bryan, at 8 o'clock on those same channels on the BXY. Actually, that will be on Band of the Year .com. But the YouTube page is the same, the BXY Challenge YouTube page, and also along with the Black College Sports Network. So you can meet the band directors.
Remind people who the defending champions are.
And Miles College on the Division II level, along with the Florida A&M Rattlers. So, yes, we will have that press conference on Tuesday, Bryan, to kick this off. And also, watch out, HBCU Game Day. I know he's not on right now, but HBCU Game Day on Tuesday will be dropping the preseason Band of the Year rankings.
Well, if the defending champs aren't preseason number one, then I'm already going to be screaming, media bias. So I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
But these preseason rankings are voted on by not people like you and me, Bryan. These are voted on by band heads.
What are they going to base it off of? I mean, are they going to base it on summer camp videos? What are they basing
historical?
Like how many drum majors graduated? How many are returning? How many sousaphone players are coming back? Is the percussion? Are they seniors or freshmen? What are we basing a preseason poll off of, really? Other than like and dislike. Come on, y'all. What are we doing? I'm just saying.
Bryan, it's probably gonna be just like every other poll. However they finished last year, or be how they start this year.
No, it won't, because there'll be some band heads that'll swear the Boom got robbed. The Boom got robbed. They should be preseason number one. You watch. I'm just telling you, they're somehow gonna be preseason number one. Because they cried the loudest. But whatever. Okay.
Yeah, but that'll drop on HBCU Game Day, and that'll also be discussed on that press conference on Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, right here on the Black College Sports Network, and on the Celebration Bowl and MEAC SWAC Challenge YouTube page.
I'm saving that post right there, Drew, because if Jackson State ends up in the actual Band of the Year championship, they'll have a whole different tune. It won't be, oh, y'all can have that. We don't really care about that, right? You watch how they act if they do actually end up in the Band of the Year finals. And all of a sudden, oh yeah, we're right where we belong. We're right back where we should be. Yeah, y'all can have Y'all are funny.
Whether they are, whether they not, them rings that those schools bought them kids was nice.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for watching the show. Thank you for your participation. Check out the BCSN Pod Zone everywhere that you listen and download podcasts.
Duke said they're not participating.
Yeah, whatever. They're not participating. Come on.
Man, y'all better come get that check.
Are they still crying because of the first year when they lost to A&T? Is that what it is? Let me stop. We got something better to do. Okay. God bless y'all. Thanks for watching. Go download everywhere you can find us. BCSN Pod Zone, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple, Google Podcasts. Let's have a great sports week as the countdown is on. And we'll see you in Atlanta. Stay locked into the Black College Sports Network all week as we continue to count down to the start of the 2025 HBCU football season. For A.D. Drew, I'm Brian Fulford. Thanks for watching. Good night. God bless. Have a great week. Peace out.
Have a light. Wahala.